Hassan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank you and Ranking Member Cassidy for the hearing, and Acting Secretary Sue, it is good to see you. Thank you for meeting with me. Before I start with questions, I want to take a moment to echo some of my colleagues' comments this morning and reiterate how important it is to crack down on the alarming increase in child labor violations, expand access to career training pathways that will lead to good-paying jobs, and support workers who experience disabilities. So I want to start with a question about workforce training. People need access to high-quality workforce training that leads to good-paying jobs. As you may know, I, along with Senators Young, Collins, and Kaine, are authors of the Bipartisan Gateway to Careers Act, which would establish a career pathway grant program for community colleges, technical colleges, and workforce development partners to provide job training for unemployed or underemployed individuals. The bill would also provide support to workers who face barriers such as transportation and access to childcare. If confirmed, how will you increase access to workforce training and supports that boost program completion?
Thank you so much for that question, Senator, and for your work and leadership in this space. I really enjoyed our conversation about this and other issues. As Deputy Secretary alongside Secretary Walsh and as Acting Secretary, and if confirmed as Labor Secretary, this would really be a top priority for the Department of Labor. We are seeing the need for skilled workers in a whole bunch of different industries. That's why the Department of Labor recently put out an $80 million grant to expand nursing training for nursing. I know this is something that this committee has already brought to light as well. And in that stakeholder engagement and listening to what the needs are in industries, we found that the need is not only for nurses themselves, but also for clinical instructors. And so the funding opportunity does address both those issues. We've expanded apprenticeships in trucking. That's one I haven't talked about yet. And I know a point was made earlier that it takes too long for apprentices to finish programs. I do think that we have to look at ways to recruit and to train and to get people in high quality, with high quality training into good jobs as quickly as we can. And if confirmed, I would love to work with you on this, Senator.
Well, thank you. I want to turn to a slightly different topic. In January 2023, the labor force participation rate for people experiencing disabilities was around 25%, compared to about 65% of those without a disability. We have to do better as a country at removing barriers and creating opportunities for individuals experiencing a disability so that they can enter and remain in the workforce. I deeply value the work that the Department's Office of Disability Employment Policy is doing to increase employment opportunities for these individuals and help employers better understand ways to support them. To this end, Acting Secretary Sue, can you detail some of the major initiatives currently underway by the Office of Disability Employment Policy?
Yes, thank you so much for that question, Senator. I was going to say, and you beat me to it, that the Department of Labor does have our own sub-agency that's devoted to exactly the issue that you're raising, because we see and understand that it is critically important, if we are to build an economy where no one is left behind, to make sure that communities that are not participating in the labor force to the extent that they want to and could have an opportunity. And that is the primary focus of our Office of Disability Employment Policy, or ODEP. And one of the biggest priorities for ODEP is, I think what you're alluded to, which is competitive integrated employment, making sure that people with disabilities are able to work in the labor force alongside workers without disabilities and get the training and the pathways for upward mobility that they need and deserve. And so we've been doing that competitive integrated employment work in multiple areas. We do it through technical assistance grants. We do it through collaboration with states to make sure that funding that states are providing are all driving toward a holistic set of policies that will actually make a difference in the lives of people with disabilities on the ground. And we have done it in the form of technical assistance and work directly with employers so that they understand how to integrate these kinds of policies in the workplace.
Well, thank you very much. And I look forward to working with you on that. I have another question that I will submit for the record on apprenticeships, because I understand, one, I'm out of time, and I understand other people have touched on it, but it's an area in which New Hampshire leads, and we would very much appreciate working with the department moving forward and with people on both sides of the aisle to improve apprenticeships and make them more available in this country. Thank you.
Senator Brunn.